Hello, welcome back. And now joining us from the nation's capital is the Managing Director of the Australian Christian Lobby, Lyle Shelton. How are you, Lyle?
I'm very well, thanks, Kent. Good to be with you again.
Now, Lyle, a little while back we spoke with your colleague David Hutt about the closure of Zoo Weekly magazine. And just recently we've heard that Playboy magazine says they'll no longer display nudes on their pages. Then we have the Hyatt hotel chain saying that they're going to cut their pornography TV channel. Is this a win in the war against pornography?
Yeah, it is to a large degree, Kent, and we've also seen the Hilton and the Marriott hotels also remove porn from their rooms globally. So we're certainly making progress, but I think we all realise that the big battle is the internet. And unfortunately, there's a lack of will on both sides of politics, particularly on the right of politics, to address internet filtering. We have the technology to do this, but not the political will to keep kids safe and to provide a clean feed. But that's certainly the next battle, but it's great to see some progress.
Yeah, and I guess you'd have to say the internet is a much less regulated market than, say, magazines or television is.
Yeah, it is, but it's taken a long time to convince or to get rid of magazines like Zoo, for instance, which were being sold by Coles and Woolworths. So it needed relentless campaigning, but we do really need to shift our focus now to the internet so that our kids can be kept safe when they're on their smartphones and their computers. And quite frankly, yeah, this is not a good thing for adults either.
Sure. Okay. On to another topic, Lyle. Poker machines. This is something that you've been quite passionate about. Do you think this is an issue that the community is getting on board with?
Well, it's a slow process. The ABC this week screened a documentary called Kaching, which detailed the addictive nature of poker machines and how they are actually rigged to ensure that people lose, that you can't win, they are gamed. And of course, the most vulnerable in our community are affected by this, with billions of dollars coming out of the pockets of problem gamblers causing untold social harm. So we're on the verge of a new campaign to create public awareness, to try and get political momentum to reform poker machines in this country, which are a scourge on our communities.
Yeah, you mentioned political momentum. What are your chances of that?
Very difficult at the moment. Again, both sides of politics are beholden to the poker machine industry through the clubs and pubs which donate a lot of money to their parties. So the only way we can convince politics is to convince the public that these machines are incredibly harmful, which this documentary Kaching this week showed. And I was privileged to be part of the media launch in Melbourne this week of the Alliance for Gambling Reform. We're very committed to continuing this fight, and it's a case of winning public support to put pressure on the politicians to stop accepting the money from the gambling industry and then to reform these poker machines which are causing so much harm.
Yeah, well, it's an issue certainly worth keeping an eye on. Thanks so much for your time this week, Lyle.
Pleasure, Kent. Thanks for having us.